No one tells you this. The day your life quietly starts to fall apart doesn't come with a warning. There's no thunder, no dramatic soundtrack. One morning you wake up, look at your own face in the mirror, and there's this tiny question behind your eyes. Who am I? If everything I'm clinging to disappears, not the job title, not the relationship, not the bank balance, or the likes on your last post. Just you. If that question has been stalking you in the background of your life, stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to point you to something so simple, so close, that your mind will want to ignore it. But if you stay with it, it can quietly rewire the way you experience suffering, resilience, and who you think you are. And it starts with two words you've been using since you were a child. I am. We usually attach something to those words. I am tired. I am useless. I am not enough. I am a failure. I am trying. Over time, those phrases become chains. They harden into identity. But what if we gently peeled all the labels off and stopped at just I am? Not I am this or I am that. Just the raw, bare fact that you exist now, before your name, before your story, before today's problems. There is already a subtle sense of being here, a quiet hum of existence. The ancient rishis of India pointed to this again and again. In the Upanishads, they called it the first reflection of the self, the doorway through which consciousness seems to step into the world of forms. The sage Nisargadatta Maharaj used to tell students, stay with the feeling I am, not as a philosophy, as a direct taste. So let's not talk about it too much. Let's feel it. Wherever you are right now, just pause for a moment. You don't have to close your eyes. You don't have to sit cross-legged. Just notice, without thinking about yourself, without remembering your past, without imagining your future. Can you sense, very simply, I exist? Not the words in your head, the actual fact of being present, almost like a soft glow behind everything else. Thoughts are still moving, emotions may still be swirling, sensations are happening in the body. But underneath all of that, there is a quiet background knowing, I am here. Stay with that for a few breaths. This simple sense of being is like the first light at dawn. With it, the whole world appears. Without it, nothing appears. Every experience you've ever had, every fear, every achievement, every heartbreak, all of it arose on the screen of this basic feeling of existing. And yet we almost never look at it. We chase complicated spiritual techniques, elaborate philosophies, endless self-improvement plans, and overlook the most intimate fact of our own existence. This is where resilience, wisdom, and real inner power begin. Because life will not stop throwing things at you. Relationships will end, plans will fail, body and mind will get tired, sick, overwhelmed. You can't control that, but you can discover a place in yourself that all of that passes through. A place that isn't destroyed when things fall apart. The Gita calls this the Sthita Prajna, the one whose wisdom is steady, who remains like the deep ocean even when storms rage on the surface. The entrance to that depth is this very ordinary doorway. I am. If you keep returning to this simple sense of being, something subtle begins to shift. At first it feels like you are focusing on it, like a meditator concentrating on an object. But with time, there's a new balance. On one side, thoughts, feelings, and life events. On the other, a gentle, silent background of presence. You find yourself talking, working, scrolling, arguing, laughing. And at the same time, there's a quiet knowing in the background. I am, not as a sentence, as a stable sense of being here that doesn't shake so easily. From this alone, your way of facing obstacles starts to change. The breakup still hurts. The job loss still stings. The anxiety still visits. But instead of being swallowed whole, you start to notice, these experiences are happening in me. But they are not the whole of me. This is the beginning of spiritual resilience. Not becoming a stone, not pretending you don't care, but realizing you are larger than whatever you're going through. But the journey doesn't stop there, because at some point, if you really stay with this sense I am, something even more curious appears. You begin to notice. There is something that is aware even of the feeling I am. You know that you exist. You notice your own presence. That knowing is like a silent witness in the background, watching thoughts, watching emotions, watching the sense of being. You could call it the observer, the sakshi, the witnessing awareness. It doesn't interfere, it doesn't judge, it just knows. You've tasted this in small moments, like when you catch yourself mid-argument and think, why am I reacting like this? Or when you're crying, and a part of you is quietly aware, I am crying. That quiet part is the witness. Many spiritual seekers stop here. They start to say, I am the awareness behind everything. I am the witness. And compared to the chaos of identifying with thoughts and emotions, this is a huge relief. It feels peaceful, spacious, free. But if there is a witness, there is still something being witnessed. There are still two, subtle duality. The sages didn't stop here. They asked a dangerous question. If even the witness can be seen, what is aware of the witness? Don't rush to answer that with your mind. This is not a riddle to solve. It's an invitation to relax even more deeply into silence. When attention stops grabbing at even the witnessing position, something profound happens. The sense of me watching life begins to dissolve. The center falls away. There is no separate watcher, no separate thing being watched. Just a vast, open presence, too intimate to describe, too simple to divide into this and that. This is what the Upanishads point to when they say, neti, neti, not this, not that, not the body, not the mind, not the emotions, not even the noble role of the witness. What remains is pure awareness, not awareness of something, not a state you do, but the effortless, natural condition in which every experience appears. You can't grab it. You can't make it happen. You can't own it, because it's what you've silently been all along. When this is glimpsed, it doesn't feel like fireworks or a grand spiritual climax. Ironically, it's more like an utterly ordinary silence. No big cosmic announcements, no angel choirs, just a sense that life is happening without a center claiming it. Breathing continues, work continues, parenting continues, arguments still happen, laughter still happens. But inwardly, there is less and less of me as the doer. There is just life, moving, shifting, unfolding. Now, this might sound frightening to the mind, because the mind has built its entire world around me. My story, my success, my failure, my healing, my awakening. It imagines that going beyond the I will make you numb, detached, uncaring. But the opposite tends to happen. When the tight grip of me softens, love is no longer blocked. Compassion stops being a spiritual performance and becomes natural. You become more available to life, not less, because you're not spending all your energy protecting a fragile image of yourself. Still, let's bring this back down from the mountaintop. How does any of this help when your heart is broken, your bank account is empty, or your mind is drowning in anxiety? It helps because every time you return to the simple sense, I am, you're stepping out of the storm for a moment and standing as the sky. You're training your nervous system to remember, yes, this is painful. Yes, this is intense, but it is happening in me. It is not what I fundamentally am. Think of it like this. Your thoughts are like waves. Your emotions are like weather. Your roles are like clothes, but the one who says, I am, is like the ocean itself, and beyond even that ocean is the still, infinite, shoreless presence that Hindu philosophy calls Atman, which is not different from Brahman, the Absolute. Tat Tvam Asi, you are that, not as a motivational quote, as a literal description of your deepest nature. So how do you live this in the middle of a messy human life? Start incredibly small. You're washing dishes, driving to work, standing in line. Instead of reaching for your phone, take 3 soft breaths and ask inwardly, before the thoughts, before the to-do list, before the worry, can I sense that simple, quiet I am? Don't force it. Don't complicate it. Maybe you feel it as a softness behind the chest. Maybe as a sense of just being here without story. Maybe it feels like nothing at all, just a gentle okayness. That's enough. Stay with it for a moment. Then life goes on. That's fine. You don't have to hold on tightly. You're not trying to escape the world. You're just training yourself to remember your own depth again and again in the middle of the world. This is not about becoming perfect or zen or saintly. You will still lose your temper. You will still get scared. You will still get hurt. But slowly, what used to break you now only bends you. What used to drag you under now passes more quickly. Why? Because you're no longer building your identity on things that are constantly changing. You're learning to rest in what doesn't come and go. The old texts compared this to a fire that purifies gold. Returning to I am again and again is like putting your inner life into that fire. You're not adding anything. You're burning away everything that is not truly you. Old stories, old wounds, old identities, they still appear, but they start to feel less convincing, less solid. And here is something important. Don't turn this into another obsessive project. I must stay in the I am all the time. I must destroy the ego. I must reach awareness. That's just the mind rebranding its old addiction to control. Instead, approach this with tenderness, with curiosity. When you're overwhelmed, simply remember, there is a place in me that is deeper than this moment. Let me touch it for even 10 seconds. That's enough. If you try to force silence, you'll only create more noise. The real invitation is softer. Stop running away from the silence that's already here. You don't need a temple. You don't need perfect karma. You don't need to wait until your life is finally fixed. Right here in the middle of your unfinished, imperfect, beautifully messy human journey, you can begin to rest as the one thing that has never been broken, the pure fact that you are. From there, deeper layers will reveal themselves in their own time. The feeling I am may one day thin out and disappear into a vast, wordless presence. You don't have to chase that. You don't have to understand it. Reality has been doing this dance long before you appeared. It knows how to pull its own reflection back into itself. Your part is simple. Stay honest. Stay curious. Keep returning. Whenever you feel lost in your mind, whenever life feels like too much, remember this. You don't have to become anything to be free. You don't have to get anywhere to touch truth. You only have to stop leaving what has always been here. The quiet sense, I am, the witness behind it, and the vast, silent awareness beyond both. None of that is separate from you. It is you before the story. And as you begin to live from that knowing, resilience stops being a slogan. It becomes your natural state. Wisdom stops being a quote. It becomes your baseline. Obstacles stop being proof that you're cursed and become invitations to remember what you really are. Not the storm, not the wave, not even the ocean, but the unmoving, limitless presence in which all of it appears and disappears. Thank you for walking with me this far. Take this into your next hour, your next difficult conversation, your next sleepless night. Just this one simple experiment. Whatever is happening, see if you can also feel very softly, I am. And let that be enough. This is the Thought Alchemist.